Hello and welcome. Happy to have you here for some strength exercises. Before you get started, make sure you've got a resistance band. It can be a flat one like this or a tube. Susan and I both are gonna be using a tube. I'm Shanda, this is Susan. She'll be standing the whole time and I'll be seated the whole time, but we're gonna use a band. But just so that you know, you can use the tube. You'll just wanna hold on to it from the ends for most of this, probably from the handles. But we're gonna get warmed up first, so we'll start off with the march. And again, I'm going from the chair, Susan's gonna be standing up here, and just know that you can increase, decrease this intensity at any point. You make it something that works well for you today. Just marching it out here. We're gonna get our heart rate up a little bit, get our muscles a little warm, get the joints moving a little bit. Some mobility before we strengthen them. Excellent job. And you can go fast or slow with your march. Just move in a way that feels good for you. All right, so we're going to take our heels out in front, and you can add a little arm curl if you would like. Susan's got a little extra leg work, a little dip down if you want to add that in. And you could be seated back in your chair, you could stay forward on your chair, whatever feels best for you. And you can let the arms rest if it becomes too much. Excellent job. And let's reach across the chest. Noticing how it feels for you in your back. You can make this a big reach or a small reach. You could just do it with your arms. Or you can add more of a reach so there's some of your back is involved, or Susan's even adding her legs so she's got even more of a twist even down through her hips. But you choose which of those levels works the very best for you. And we'll take this up and over the head. You can extend through the fingers and then make a fist on the way back down. Warming up the fingers as well, working out some of the stiffness, maybe helping out some of the arthritis. Opening and closing the hand. All right, and let's take the arms out wide for cactus arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then round in. Inhale, open up, and exhale, round. You can move as much of your spine as feels good to you. Maybe you're feeling it all the way to the tip of the head and maybe down to the tailbone, or maybe somewhere in between. Open wide. Once more. Excellent. Release the arms down. We'll roll the shoulders back. Letting them pull all the way into your ears, back behind you and down. You move at your own pace. Just let it feel good for you. And roll forward. And that movement can be small. It doesn't need to be big, but if it feels good, let it be big. And let's swim backwards, letting your arms circle back behind you. You can look backwards if that feels good, allowing the spine to twist a little. Or you can stay still and just keep it in the shoulders, big or small. Let that come forward now. We'll round in. You can let the chin tuck if it feels good. Freestyle swimming. And then bring the arms out. We'll do the breaststroke. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Big squeeze. Letting the chest open, working the back muscles as you squeeze. Good, and then coming up and over, rounding in if that feels good for the butterfly. And again, you make this big or small, it doesn't matter. Just getting some movement, some rotation through those joints. Good, and then pause back in the center. And let's look right and left, looking over one shoulder and then over the other. Working through the neck and working through the shoulders, letting go of some of that tension, the stress that gets built up, particularly in our neck and shoulders. And even noticing if you're holding the shoulders up towards your ears, relax them down, letting the neck move a little more freely. Finish up this one and then pause in the center and let your chin lift and lower. And again, as big or as small as feels good to you. And we'll pause back in the center and go on the diagonal, looking up to one corner and down to the other. Noticing maybe the sounds that you hear in your neck as you move it around. And pause back in the center, and then we'll go on the other diagonal, up to one corner and down to the other. And just noticing how it feels through the neck as you move. Great, and then we'll pause right back in the center. You can scoot forward a little bit in your chair if you're seated down, and we'll lift one knee and the other knee. Lifting up one knee and the other knee. And then let's add the lift of the arm. Extending one arm up, the opposite arm and leg. Reaching up, working the brain a little bit. So we go from side to side. And again, you can pick that pace that works the best for you. And then let's switch and do the same side. Lifting the same arm and leg. Yeah, there we go. Making the brain work a little bit here. Just prepare yourself. We're going to switch again and do the opposite. Lift the opposite arm and leg. You got it. Little brain teaser there. Excellent work. Relaxed arms. Let's march it in. One more march here. If you're in the chair, sitting up nice and tall, make sure you pay attention to your posture. Okay, we're moving into our strength exercises. So grab your resistance band or your tube, whichever one's best for you. We'll take it around behind us to start with. And if you're in the chair and can put it around behind the chair, I suggest that. But if it just needs to go around your back, that's okay as well. Choking back the further back you go, the harder it's going to be. So you find a position that feels good to you. And then we're pressing straight out. Susan and I both are holding this in a way that's not rubbing our arms. So if you find that it's rubbing, see if you can hold it a different way. And we'll count out. Susan, you can help me keep track of how many that we're doing here. And that should be 5, I think. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. And we're working toward 10 of these. We're almost there. 9. Here's our last one. Press it out. Good. Now, if you're in a chair, I want you to choke back a little bit more. We're going to hinge forward. If you're standing up, you can put it underneath both feet. Susan will be hinging forward. Susan, will you turn sideways just real quick and show us one? So she's hinging from the hips with her back really flat as she hinges forward. You don't have to go very far, but keep your spine really flat and long. All right, and you can go back to the front. And for us in the chair, we're again hinging from the hips, not rounding in the back, just like Susan. Staying nice and flat. And I'm just holding on to the band. My arms aren't moving. I'm just using it for a little bit of resistance as I hinge forward and stand back up tall. Shoulder blades are pulling together. Shoulders are down away from the ear as you hinge forward and stand back up. What number is that? There's 8. We've got 2 more. There's 9. Last one, 10. Good. We're coming back to our chest press. If you need to loosen up a little bit, if you're in the chair on the band, then do so. And we'll press straight out in front as you're ready. Susan has her legs staggered as well to give herself a nice base so that she can push. So just putting one foot in front of the other, keeping her center of gravity right in between her feet so she can feel pressure through both feet, the front foot and the back foot. Staying up nice and tall in my chair as I press out. And then resisting it on the way back. It's easy to let the band just kind of fly back, but use your resistance. Hold on to it. Make it go slow on the way back. How many is that? Uh-oh, we're going to do 2 more. Here we go. 1, and last one, 2. Good. We're going back to the hinge. So I'm going to choke back up on the band here, and it's around the back of my chair. If you don't have a chair to put it around, you're just hinging forward. You don't need the band, and that's okay. Susan's got it under both feet, hinging from the hips. Nice and tall. You can help us keep count here. As we go back and forth, the nice long spine. Shoulder blades pulling together. The shoulders are away from the ears. And it's not a rounding of the back, but a hinging of the hips. Nice and flat back. Here's 9 and 10. Excellent job. You can release that band from underneath your feet or back behind you. And for in the chair, I'm going to scoot forward just a little bit on my chair. So I've got a little space. It's going to go underneath the foot for the leg press. And Susan's putting it underneath one of her feet so that she's doing a split squat, one foot in front of the other. You don't have to go very far down, and you don't have to use the band if it's too much, but the band's adding a little bit of resistance. She's also holding onto the chair for balance. I'll be bending the leg and straightening the leg. So bend and straighten. And it doesn't matter if you're using your right leg or your left leg. We'll do both, but just a bend and a straighten. My arms are staying still. Susan's arms staying still, keeping the resistance. And then just bend and straighten, working the legs. Here's 9. And last one, 10. Keep it under the same foot. If you're in the chair, we're going to do bicep curls. Susan could do 1 foot or 2 feet. If you want to make it harder, you can put it under 2 feet. We're just going to curl it up, palms facing the shoulders as you curl in. Pull it up to the shoulder and down. Again, resisting it. The slower you go, the harder it's going to be on the way back down. So you make it a resistance that's good for you, a challenge that's good for you right now. Working toward 10 of them. Do you know what number we're on? All right, Ryan says it's our last one here. We've got our help back there. Excellent. One more to grow on. Okay, we're going to a toe press. So Susan will be holding onto her chair, pressing down and through both feet and lifting both heels up off the ground. And I'll just be pressing one straight down. Got the band at the ball of my foot, pressing down, keeping the heel down on the ground. And again, you could choke down to make it harder, or you could hold up higher to make it easier. Whatever it is that you need. Last one. Excellent. We're going back to our leg press. So I'm keeping it right underneath my foot, same leg. And Susan's switching legs. So if you were doing the split squat, you want to do the opposite leg. And again, Susan's got the resistance underneath her leg, but you don't have to. And we'll bend and straighten from the chair and from standing up. And Susan's making sure that her knee is not going beyond her toe on her front leg. And it can be as deep or as shallow of a squat as feels good to you. Here's 8, 9, last one, 10. Excellent. So for those of you in the chair, we're switching, no, we're not switching feet, sorry yet. We're stepping down, we're doing bicep curls. Keep it under the same foot. We're trying to quit on you already. Here we go to the bicep curls. We're curling it up and down. Remember, palms are facing in and the upper arms are still. So make sure you've got your shoulders still, the elbow stays in alongside you, whether you're standing or you're seated. Curling up and down. All right, we've got 2 more. Thank you, Susan. Last one. Good. Keeping it under the same foot for the toe press. Susan's doing both feet, so she's holding onto the chair, lifting both heels up, and I'm pressing down. And remember, you could choke down on the band if you would like more resistance, or hold up higher if you want less. And it would be easy just to kind of pump through. I want you to really use the muscles. Press and resist. We've got the last one right here. Excellent. Now we're switching legs if you're in a chair. So we'll take it underneath the opposite foot, whichever one you haven't worked yet. And we're on the leg press, bend and straighten on this leg seated. And Susan's is switching hers up. So it's a shallow squat. You could squat and hold, or you can come up and down. So we're going to bend and straighten from the chair. So if you want to just hold that squat, you can. You could also go against the wall and do a wall sit, just pressing your back against the wall if that feels better for you. Again, you don't have to bend down very far. You can just hold there. Excellent. And it's a little weird because Susan's not counting, I'm not counting. We're going with 2 more here. Here we go. Last one. Good. All right, foot's going down. So this time, instead of a bicep curl, we're doing rows. We're pulling the elbows back behind, squeezing them together, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Susan's hinged over from the hips with her back nice and flat. If you feel any pressure in your low back, stand up tall, taller, or flatten out your back. There shouldn't be pain in your low back. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, we're working the upper back muscles. Working both arms together to squeeze the shoulder blades together. We've got 2 more. And the last one, a big pull. Good. And for us seated, we've got the toe press. Susan is going to lift up and hold while we do our 10 here. So there's 2, pressing through the ball of the foot and resisting it on the way back up. Here's 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent work. So we're going back to the leg press in the chair, and Susan will be doing that squat hold, or you can go up and down in your squat. Again, as shallow or as deep as feels good to you. Pressing through your feet as you bend and straighten the legs. And in the chair, you're staying up nice and tall, belly button's in, arms are still, just bending and straightening the leg. We've got the last 2, 9 and 10. Great. We're coming back to the rows. Shoulder blades squeezing together behind you. Pull them together. Back's flat, so in the chair, I'm sitting up nice and tall. I like to think of the tailbone sometimes as tail feathers. They're sticking out behind you so that you stay nice and tall. And Susan's hinged over from the hips with her back nice and flat. Elbows squeezing together. We've got our last 2, 9 and 10. Great. On the toe press here, Susan's lifting both and holding, pressing down and just holding up. And we're going to move our foot up and down from the chair, pressing through the ball of the foot. There's 5, 6, and just resisting, knowing that you can change that resistance at any point. Good. 1 more. Excellent work. And you can take the band out from underneath your foot. We're moving to the upper body for our tricep press. Maybe the trickiest one we'll do. So hold the band in your right hand, taking it to your left shoulder. Opposite for you. Holding on with your left hand. So we're on both hands are on the same side and you're pulling straight down. We're working the back of the upper arm, working the tricep muscle. You can choke up or down on the band. You want to be able to get a full range of motion so you're extending the arm all the way down, but where you feel that work in the back of the arm. And the bands are all different resistances, so feel free to adjust wherever you need to work the back of the arm. You counting on that one? We don't know. We're going to go with 2 more. Here we go. And our last one. Good. Holding it in your left hand, take it over to the right shoulder. Right hand is underneath. And then we're pulling straight down. Pulling it down. Excellent work. We're keeping the upper arm still. Just bending and straightening the elbow. Extending all the way down. This has got 2 more. Good, and our last one right there. Good. So we're going to work the leg a little bit in between so you can put your band down. From the chair, you're extending your leg straight out in front of you and lowering and lifting. If you're standing, you're going to keep your thigh lifted up, parallel to the ground, and just extend the heel out. And you can do it without even thinking about it, or you could imagine you've got a lot of weight you're pushing through, or maybe you're pressing through some mud or lifting up through some mud to work the quadricep. And here's our last one. Good, and we'll switch over to the other leg, extending it out, lifting and lowering, staying up nice and tall. Let it just be in the quad. It would be easy from the chair to start to lean back, but just use the quad muscle to lift and lower. Squeezing it up nice and tight. Excellent work. Susan's got balance work going on too, standing up over there, making it go. Last one, a big squeeze. Good, and we're coming back to the triceps. Taking it in your right hand over to the left shoulder. Hold on with your left hand and we're pulling straight down. Keeping your upper arm still, just extending through the elbow. Pull it down and back up. Excellent work. Here's our last one. Then we'll switch over to the second side, taking in your left hand to the right shoulder, holding on with the right hand and pulling down. Choking up or extending out if you need to so that you feel the work in the back of the upper arm. Resisting on the way back up. Going nice and slow. We've got 2 more. It's 9 and 10. Excellent job. Back down to the leg. You can balance like Susan is, or you're sitting in the chair like me. Extend the leg out, lower it down, and lift it back up. Keeping the quad squeezed up nice and tight, staying nice and tall in the torso. Staying nice and balanced if you're standing up over there. Feeling the work in the quad. Muscles of independence. We've got to keep these muscles strong. Excellent. We got our last one. Good. And switch to the other leg. Lift it up and lower. Squeezing it up nice and tight. And again, resisting. Imagining you're pushing through some mud or you've got a heavy weight. Staying up nice and tall. Here's our last one. And release it down. Well done. We'll stretch it out here. We'll stretch the lower body first. So just extending one leg out in front of you, staying up nice and tall. You can hinge forward, or maybe it's enough for you just to stay tall. You want to feel the stretch down the back of that extended leg, breathing in and out through the nose. So Susan's doing it from the standing position, using the chair so she can stay balanced easily and just work on the stretch. Breathing in and out through your nose. Deep breath in. And a deep exhale. Again, deep breath in. And a deep exhale. And let's switch legs. With the other leg out in front. Extending through the heel, toes are pulled back. You can stay tall or maybe even hinge forward to feel the stretch through the back of the leg. Easing into it a little bit. If you go too fast, you'll feel the muscles tighten up. It's to protect. So if you ease into it, I like to think of it as like kind of knocking on the door of the muscles. And if they open, you may find you can ease in a little further. If not, just stay right where you are and breathe. In through the nose and out through the nose. When you're exhaling, you can imagine some of that tension just melting away. Deep breath in and a deep exhale. And then bring that leg back up tall. We'll take the, do a hip stretch. So if you would like, one option is to cross down low at the ankle. And if that's easy for you and you want to take it across the leg, you can. If you want to do a standing version, you can stay standing and then just sit the hips back. Again, Susan's using the balance of the chair. If it's too much, just sit in the chair. Staying nice and tall as you hinge forward. Flex the toes back toward the knee to protect the knee. Just breathing in and out through the nose. Deep breath in and a deep exhale. Again, take a deep breath in. And a deep exhale, seeing if with the exhales you can help dissolve some of the tension. See if you can let it go. And we'll switch legs, taking the version that works for you on this side. So maybe you're crossed down low on the leg, or maybe up high. Or maybe you're staying standing, just feeling the hips lengthening back, whether you're in the chair or you're standing up. You want to feel that the hips are going back. Spine stays nice and long so you can feel it right in the hip. Flex the toes back toward the knee. Deep breath in. And a deep exhale. Again, take a deep breath in. A deep exhale, letting go of some of the tension, noticing even if you're holding on to clenching any of the muscles, see if you can dissolve some of that. Good, and then release that leg down. I'll invite you to come sit in your chair, Susan. Actually, if you'd like, we'll use the back of the chair to help stretch out a little bit more. You can let the arms reach out wide and use the back of the chair. And if you don't have a chair to lean back on, that's okay. You can sit tall and just let the arms go back. But it might feel nice to use the back of the chair. Let the shoulders relax down away from the ears. If it feels good, you can lift the chin up. Breathing in and out through the nose. Let the chest open. Stretching the chest muscles. So often those chest muscles get locked up tight on us, keeping us rounded forward. So you've got to stretch them open, We've worked hard to strengthen the back muscles. So now just spend a little time opening them. Take another deep breath in. And a deep exhale, round yourself in. Wrap your arms all the way around you. Give yourself a big hug. You can tuck the chin, pull the shoulders down away from your ears, maybe wiggle the head if that feels good. You can round the back as much as feels good to you. Deep breath in. And a deep exhale. Again, take a deep breath in. And a deep exhale. Notice which arm you put on top. Reach your arms out wide to the side. And as we round in, put the other arm on top. Nice big hug. Round yourself in. Again, if it feels good to wiggle the head, you can wiggle the head around a little. Just rounding yourself in. And release your arms. We'll scoot forward a little bit on the chair again and walk your feet out wide, just as wide as feels comfortable to you. You can use your hands to help keep the knees open so that the knees are right on top of the ankles. Sit up nice and tall. And then hinge yourself forward, taking a deep breath in and a deep exhale. And you just notice how far down you'd like to go. It might feel good to continue to go down a little bit further, or maybe you just want to stay right where you are. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. If you're hinging forward and you're getting close to your hands being on the floor, you're welcome to put your hands on the floor. Just keeping the spine nice and long as you hinge forward. Keep pressing the knees open, stretching the inner thighs. Deep breath in and a deep exhale. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, press yourself all the way back up. And I'll just gently take the legs from side to side, kind of windshield wipering them around a little bit here. Just gently go side to side. Good, and then walk your legs back together. We'll scoot back in the chair just a little bit. And bring your hands together at heart center, and then bring your wrists down so they're in alignment with the elbows, and press the palms together. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, point your fingertips down toward the floor and notice if your shoulders went up. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. Let the fingertips point down. And then turn the fingertips to point to the breastbone. And you make any adjustment you need to. Just doing the best that you can with it. Interlace your fingers. Take a breath in. As you exhale, push the palms away. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep breath in and reach your arms up overhead. If it feels good, you could lift your chin up and look up towards your hands. If not, just keep your head right at center. If you need to separate the hands, you can separate them. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands down behind your head, letting the palms stay together, pushing the head straight back into the hands, letting the arms open up. Deep breath in and a deep exhale. Again, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, release your arms down to the side. Roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders forward. Good, and take a nice deep breath in. Arms go up overhead. Exhaling forward. If it feels good, you can fold yourself in half. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, nice long spine brings you down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. Coming all the way back up. Thank you for joining us today. Well done.